5 love languages. Do you know what all 5 of them are, Kenzie?
I do. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, let's go after
Okay.
one.
Gift giving,
Acts of service,
quality time,
physical touch,
words of affirmation.
affirmation.
So these are the 5 love languages. This video is going to be all about how you can learn how to love other people better through these 5 different primary love languages. How you receive love, how you feel love, and how you also express and give love.
You can use this in any relationship, friendship, dating. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right in. And we're gonna just read to you first the definition of each love language. I mean, they're pretty self-explanatory, but just in case there's any confusion, a handy dandy little notebook. Okay, so I'll read the first one, words of affirmation. This is phrases you say to your partner to make them feel good about who they are and what they do.
Words of affirmation, phrases you say to your partner to make them feel good about who you are and what they do and what they do.
Quality time.
Quality time, dedicated solely for the purpose of being with your partner without distractions.
Yes. Receiving gifts, the act of giving a gift as a symbol of love. It's more about the thought than it is the actual gift.
Acts of service, things done to make life easier for your partner.
And physical touch, a person who feels love most through intimate contact. It can be large or small. Okay, so now we're going to tell you guys what our love languages are, and hopefully that if you don't know about the love languages, this kind of helps you understand by us sharing with you how we receive and give love. So, Steven, what's your love language?
My love language is when Kenzie goes outside and mows the lawn and cleans out the gutters. I feel so loved and honored when I see her up on that ladder reaching to clean out the gutters. It's, I feel much more at peace. I know that.
I don't know the last time anyone did that here.
Yeah, I know.
But how he actually feels loved is.
How I actually feel loved, I would say physical touch. So when she comes up to me and she scratches my head, gives me a hug and a kiss, I love that. I feel very loved by that. So physical touch would be one. Another big one that I really love is when she gets me gifts, primarily food. There's a saying, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And I think that is very true. Kenzie actually makes these amazing cookies. She's got a couple different type of cookies that she makes. And every time she bakes, I fall more in love with her.
This is actually true. And my love languages are, well, I feel like we all kind of have a little bit of each, but each person has like a primary love language, like this takes the cake. Mine is definitely quality time. And it's so funny because, like, for example, the other night, Steven and I were in the same room for probably like 3 hours, but we were doing different things. And at the end of the night, I was like, I just really want to spend time with you. And Steven was like,
It's been 3 hours.
He's like, babe, we just hung out all day. But that's the thing, quality time lovers love, like what I tell him is it's not about quantity time, it's about quality time. So like the definition says, no distractions. It's funny because literally I feel the most loved by Steven when he asks me out on a date. And it's so true. Like yesterday, for example, this is a perfect example. I'm just kind of going about the morning and he goes, babe, I'm taking you on a date tonight. And literally me, I'm like, what? Where? What? And I was just so excited. And then it like made him like a little giddy boy. He was so excited. But literally I feel so loved when he takes the time out of his day to like schedule, and not really schedule. It's not like oh, I have to do this, but it's like I'm like seeing that she needs this specific time with me, so I'm gonna make it happen. Oh, I feel so loved. So those are both of ours. That's just a couple examples. Like his are gifts, and I will say that's true about him. When I'm at the store and stuff, something I'll do is like, oh, what's something small that I could pick up that I know Steven would love? So sometimes it's like a candy bar, sometimes it's his favorite drink, or sometimes I'll like bake him a treat or something because I know he loves that. That leads into your love language isn't always how your partner or your friend or whoever receives love. So being cognitive of that. For example, my primary love language is not physical touch. I'm actually, like, I love hugs and stuff like that. I don't say no to it, but I'm not a super touchy-feely person. So I actually have to be cognitive of giving him that love, like giving him a back massage or something. He feels so loved when I do that. But it's not something that comes natural to me. And probably the same with quality time for him.
Well, I do actually like to spend one-on-one time with people. That's how I really know. Like, I really will know that you're a good friend of mine if we actually hang out one-on-one, because it's easy to have, friends and relationships by proximity or out of obligation. You're going to school together or you are co-workers with somebody, but then as soon as you remove that obligation, the question is, are you really going to spend time with them? So I think I do love quality time for sure, and that is how I differentiate, I think true friends from, acquaintances or colleagues or that type of a thing.
And I think that your love languages
It can change.
Are different, in different relationships. Like, I mean, I don't need quality time with each person. Sometimes my love language is like acts of service with people. If somebody goes out of their way to do something, I feel really loved by that. But specifically, like with Steven, my love language is quality time.
Or even, I have a good friend of mine who lives in Guatemala. Shout out to Jonathan. Obviously I can't spend quality time with him. And even if we do talk on the phone or FaceTime or whatever and catch up, it's just not the same. And so that need can't really be met that way. But when I'm thinking about, a friend of mine that I love or something like that, more often than not, I will express love by sending a word of encouragement or just, or I'll get like a really strong impression of like feeling a really strong way for someone. I'll be like, hey, I believe like God put this on my heart to tell you that he loves you, and then just go into it from there, like a word of encouragement. So a lot of times that's another way that I will express love, is giving somebody a word of encouragement and really just telling them how much I love them. But going into detail and sending like a long message. And a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times I'd say, for most of these people, it's completely out of the blue. And most of the time too, when I send them, we haven't talked in a long time, and they say, wow, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that. Something that Kenzie was saying is like, I with these different love languages, knowing that you need to feel love. We were created and we were designed. God created us to love and to be loved. That is our purpose. That is our primary function as human beings, being made in the image of God, who is love, that we receive love and that we give love, and knowing that that need can be met and satisfied in a healthy way. Yeah. Even when you're not married and you're not in a serious relationship with somebody, even your friends, it's like, a lot of times I'll go up to my guy friends, my buddies, and I'll just put my hand on their shoulder and, kind of like give them a rough little...
Rough them up.
Rough them up a little bit and, squeeze it, give them a little massage on their back or whatever. And that's how I'm saying, hey, I see you, I love you. Mm-hmm. And, you'd be surprised how much even just a little, just touching somebody's shoulder and just doing that, how much that can really impact their day.
Yeah. I've noticed, like, when I give a woman a word of encouragement or tell her she's beautiful, it makes them feel loved, and I feel loved when another woman tells me that, like, you look so beautiful, or like you do this so well, or whatever. So just to say, like, you can meet those needs even in friendships or outside of dating or marriage as well. So we just kind of wanted to put that out there, that this isn't just for marriage too. Like, we all want to feel loved. That's just kind of our DNA. We want to be loved and we want to give love. and we all receive and give it in different ways.
And I don't know the exact location of that verse, but it says it's better to give than to receive. You know, you hear that a lot, and I remember when I first had a true revelation of when and how that's true. You know what I mean? Because we're all like, hey, give me money. I like it when you give me money, but to actually give is better than to receive. And one of the first ways that I had that revelation was by giving somebody a word of encouragement that I felt was given to me from God, where I felt like the Lord was saying, hey, go and tell this person this thing. And because you actually, when God gives you that message or that love and you give it to someone else, you are the conduit, and it goes through you to that person. It is directed to that person. It's for that person. And that word is specifically for them, and that encouragement is for them. But guess what? You get to experience it and feel it as it's going through you to that other person. So loving other people, you do in a way get to experience it yourself as well. And it's a win-win. It's a positive feedback loop where you're getting it from the Lord, then you get it, and then you give it to the other person. And every single person becomes empowered and fulfilled, and they feel that their needs are being met, and that their purpose is being expressed.
A big reason why we wanted to do this video too is because it's, you know, we do all have love needs. Also, you know, there was something that I heard while we were in ministry school that I thought was like really profound that I hadn't really heard before, was just as easy as it is for you to fall in love is as easy as it is to fall out of love. And at first I was really confused by that. I was like, no. But it's actually true, because those first feelings of falling in love are like euphoria, right? Well, if you aren't working on that, on loving your significant other, this is kind of more in marriage, but I mean any relationship, but if you're not working on that and constantly, you know, being selfless, loving that person, you know, you can fall out of love. So this is like a really good tool that I've noticed. You know, I can say whenever I've taken time to love Steven in the way he receives love, there's never been a time where he doesn't love me in the way I receive love, and vice versa.
Yeah, loving each other on purpose, the way that we know the other person needs to be loved. So, right, she might be fluent in quality time and, let's say, just acts of service, right? But she knows that I love gifts. So for her, it's not a natural expression for her to go and buy me a sandwich, or go and you know, clean the car or something like that, right? But she'll go and do it even though she doesn't want to do it. It's not a natural thing like, I want to do this. She will choose to go and do that because she knows that that's how I feel loved. You do have there are primary modalities of these love languages that you express and you receive, but being fluent in them is so important, because you might not express love a certain way, but guess what? Your brother or your sister or your mom or your cousin or your friend, they might receive love in a totally different way than you give it. And that's where miscommunication comes, and some people don't line up, but you care about that person. You know, hey, this person loves gifts, or hey, this person loves quality time, or hey, this person loves a foot rub, and you're like, I freaking hate touching dirty, stinking feet, but because I love them, I'm gonna rub this person's feet.
I think another thing to also note here is to not discredit the person you're with in the way they love you. So like I was saying earlier, I'm not super touchy-feely, and Steven is. Like, it's natural for him to, and I really love it. I'm not saying that I hate it. It's not my first love language. So it's natural for him to come up and do this and stuff. And sometimes I've told myself, you know, Kenzie, like, this is him showing you love right now, because this is his love language. So just receive it and let him, because it's his natural way to show me love. So that's just another thing I wanted to say. Like, don't discredit just because it's not. And
she's like, you're tickling me. I'm like, no, I love you. No, I love you. She's like, you're tickling. No, I love you.
Whatever. Anyway, to kind of summarize this all up, and wrap this video up. So the 5 love languages are physical touch, words of affirmation, gift giving, acts of service, quality time. A good way for you to find your love language is there's quizzes online. Literally, if you Google 5 love languages, Gary Chapman is the person who wrote the book, so you can also read the book. But also, I would say be cognitive and see what's natural for you. Usually what's natural for you is your love language. Like what you give to people, what's natural in that sense.
Is what you like to receive.
Is what you like to receive, yes. Everyone loves love. Like, it's the core of who we are. We all want to feel loved. We want to be loved. We want to give love. And so these are just practical ways that you can love the people around you. Another thing I wanted to say, I don't know if I've said this before, is you have to be able to communicate. Like, for example, I can't just expect Steven to know, like, hey, I really need quality time. If I'm not telling him, he doesn't know. Just like if he's like, babe, I really want a back rub. If he doesn't tell me, I don't know. So you can't just expect your person to know.
I let her know.
He lets me know. Okay.
Call to action. We challenge you today to, there's a specific person you're thinking about. You're watching this video. There is a person that has popped up in your mind. You thought about them. Maybe you were even having a fake conversation with them in your head this morning. The call to action today is to go and show that person love the way they best receive it, the way they love it. So if it's, a donut, or if it's quality time, or if it's a word of encouragement saying, hey, friend, or hey, baby, I love you, then go up to those people. We challenge you. The call to action today is to go and express love through one of these languages, one of these 5 love languages, to that person that you were thinking about before you click the video, or even while you're watching it.
And then let us know how it goes. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.